Hi everyone and welcome to Bear Clooney Watches channel. I am Bear who loves watches. This is my cave and I apologize if you hear the noise in the background. It's Bear doing his laundry. Anyway, as you could see from the introduction, Bear Clooney has gone digital and it's a G-Shock. You know, I always liked Casio digital watches. I actually have some cool ones, but I never really been into G-Shock. I never really knew much about it. And in the last Baselworld 2017, I saw the release of this really cool full metal square G-Shock, which was basically issued for the 35th anniversary since first G-Shock was issued. And I did a little bit of a research on G-Shocks to get a better understanding what is the appeal and so on, to find out that they're really, really cool watches. Let me share with you interesting video I found in which they show you how they test G-Shock watches. I think you'll appreciate it. What do you think? Quite interesting. Wristwatch check for today. It is the Full Metal Square G-Shock, which feels really nice on the wrist. And I suggest we jump into Bear Clooney Studio and take a closer look at this really intriguing and, after all, beautiful watch. Let's go. And here we are at Bear Clooney Watches Studio, taking a closer look at this beautiful full metal G-Shock. But before we talk more about this 35th anniversary G-Shock, let's kind of just give a short historical perspective on the Casio G-Shock line. The idea of unbreakable watch was conceived by Kikuo Ibe in 1981. At that time, he was a Casio engineer. He specified three strength and design parameters, which are necessary for watch to pass. The first one was a 10-year battery life. The second one was 10 bar water resistance. And the final one was 10-meter dropping shock resistance, or better known as the triple 10 requirements. The final design incorporated 10 layers of shock protection, including a urethane rubber pumper and stainless steel screw down back. But his most ingenious innovation was the solution device to protect its electronic quartz module, a free-floating quartz mechanism suspended in a urethane foam cradle with the outer buttons and LCD module attached with flexible cables. The final product was named G-Shock, which is actually short for gravitational shock, and a term befitting the newly created watch. G-Shock actually holds the current Guinness World Record for surviving the heaviest vehicle driven over it. We also have done many other tests on these watches through the past, and ultimately NASA has flight certified 5 G-Shocks models for use in space. So everything truly is testament to its robustness. In April 1983, there was a first G-Shock created and put out. It was DW5000C. That was basically the first commercially available G-Shock. And this watch that we are looking at today is based on that design. That is exactly how the original G-Shock looked in 1983, obviously without the metal. It was all resin, but stylistically this watch is exactly the same. And now we come to this beautiful full metal piece. So the full name of this watch is Casio G-Shock GMW B5000 TFG-9 full metal. But collectors have been calling it Full Metal 5000, and that will make it much easier calling it as such in the rest of this presentation. Basically, the most impressive thing when we look at this watch is the case. And what exactly does Casio mean when they say full metal here? Each G-Shock has 4 main exterior components. The case itself, right? The case, the bezel, the case back, and the bracelet. And in the situation of this watch, all these components are actually metal. And many models prior to this one had some metal components, but there was never been a model that used steel on all 4 of these basic building blocks. The result is obviously in front of us. It's a watch that has none of the brightly colored plastic that you might typically associate with the G-Shock. So you get a similar profile with a totally different feel. One thing to note for G-Shock nerds is that in between the bezel and the main case, there is a slim layer of a special resin that allows the watch to be just as tough as its more flexible shock absorbance features in between. The case, as I mentioned, retains the iconic rectangular form factor of the original, but obviously it is more advanced. No sight of funky colored rubber and plastic. Instead, its metal build oozes quality, and it makes it feel very premium in hand. And there we see that is one of the nicest G-Shock ever made. I really think it is. And maybe I'm not in position to make that comment because, in all honesty, I haven't really experienced G-Shocks to the extent that I can say that with certainty. But from what I researched, from what I've seen, from what I noticed on a site, in the forums, this is really most beautiful G-Shock I ever seen. Finishing and detailing is what would you expect from a watch at this price point. Impressive. It's done with a very high engineering standards. Manufacturing is consistent throughout with a high tolerance and every component fitting well. It's 49.3 millimeters by 43.2 millimeters. And by G-Shock standards, this is conservatively sized, so it will be suitable even for the smaller wrists. And it sits really well on the average wrist also because it's only 13 millimeters thick. The watch uses a super twisted pneumatic display with a STN display with a neutral colored background. The texts are very crisp, highly legible. It offers overall excellent viewing angles, though the display can appear sometimes a little bit washed out at certain positions. You see what I mean? And additionally, the watch is equipped with a super illuminator LED backlight, which I will show you after when I turn the lights off. And there is no brightness control, but the backlight has a kind of cool fade in, fade out feature, which is easy on the eyes, especially in darkness. Surrounding the LCD are solar cells. So all this around the LCD display, all around are solar cells because this is the where the which enables the watch to recharge when it's exposed to light source. They actually feature the iconic brick pattern, which is also another thing that connects us to that original. A flat bezel protrudes from the case, as you can see, and provides a protection for the lens, for the LCD screen. Turning the watch over, we will. Let me just open it so we can actually do this better. Turning the watch over, we find the DLC treated solid case back. It is laser engraved with technical specifications, and it has that it's made in Japan. Bracelet is really cool. It's a stainless steel integrated bracelet, and it certainly contributes to the watch looks and feels on the wrist. It meets the case effortlessly. If you notice here, and harmonizes the full metal aesthetics, sprucing up a handsome appearance. It features circular motifs which are indented near the edges, design which kind of reflects on the past original rubber design. An interesting design quirk are the links. Instead of conventional push pins, they have actually screws, and bracelet is held together by spring bars, which are kind of unique approach to the bracelet connection. Electronic heart encased is inside is the module 3459 multi-band 6 with a Bluetooth enabled movement. The timekeeping function is typically regulated by multi-band receiver, which syncs with one of 6 radio transmission stations across the world. They are not located in North America, UK, Europe, China, and Japan. Casio has built-in support for 30 and 45-minute time zones and daylight saving time. So there we go, Bear Clooney's grand complication watch. However, some countries and cities are out of covered range by these towers and will not be able to receive the transmission. The G-Shock connected mobile app compensates for this with the active Bluetooth connection. And I did include that app. It's interesting. It's on my iPhone, which I'm using now to actually videotape, so I cannot share that with you. I'm sorry. And like any other watch of this nature, it has usual bells and whistles such as wall time, alarm, stopwatch, and timer. But what really appealed to me was the full metal look of it, the design, the iconic capture of the original G-Shock, which makes this watch so cool in the aspect of its heritage. And this watch is just, in that sense, something that appealed to me. I hope you understand what I mean by it, and I hope this kind of gives you better view and better understanding of this watch. I suggest that we take a look now at the, I almost said a lume, but the LCD, the LED actually illuminator, and see how it actually works. And the watch is now on my wrist. I have shut the lights off, and here we go. We're gonna see what time it is. Automatically the LED light turns on and it fades out. Let's take a look once again. LED light turns on and it fades out. Really cool feature, and in the same time it kind of you can see how is the what is the wrist presence of this watch. And here we have the wrist presence of the full metal 5000 square. It sits really nicely on the wrist. The size is just perfect for any size of the wrist. The thickness is great. This full metal G-Shock is truly impressive, and I am so happy it joined my collection. It was a long wait, but it was worth it. I suggest we go back to Bear Clooney Cave and wrap up this video. And you are back in Bear Clooney's Cave. I hope you enjoyed this presentation of a really unique, cool-looking, full metal square 5000 G-Shock. As I mentioned earlier, have never been a huge fan of G-Shock watches, but the more you learn about them, the more you appreciate them. And I think they have a place in every collection. Once again, thank you for coming to my channel. If you enjoyed this video, please click on like. I welcome all your comments, and even more, I invite you to subscribe to my channel and join me on the search for perfect timepiece. It might never come, but search is so much fun. Thank you again and best to all of you.